This kind of video showing you how to retrieve the Nightfall weapons and how to get them solo. For those that just want to see this and skip the time on the screen. First I can show you what I was using, etc. So I don't have likes of Shadow Prize and any other weapons, but they do drop, and I'll show you what the drop rates are. I was just unlucky and I haven't done many Nightfalls on the higher difficulty. So Adept states Nightfall weapon rare, Nightfall weapon uncommon on hero, which is a good one to farm for your 100k, as it's very easy to get 100k. So if you need the pinnacle reward, just go and do hero. It's very easy to get the points. Legend Nightfall weapon is common, and Master Nightfall weapon is common. So you'll see these drop more frequently. I was just unlucky on this particular one not to get a drop, and I'm not sure why I didn't. But as I said, it's RNG, but it does state common. So most people aren't going to be soloing a master just yet because it's the first week. So we'll be doing a legend because that's closer to people's power level. Okay, you can do this below 1300, but if you're 1300 or above, it's going to help out. So the setup was Voidwalker, top tree Nova Bomb, Vortex Grenade, and Healing Rift. We paired that with the exotic Gauntlets, Contraverse Hold. So we're running max discipline. You want high recovery as well, or as high as you can get. I won't talk too much about the mods I've got on, but in the run I will. Right now I'm just going to give you a tick list. If you want to know more information about it, it'll be in the run itself. So we've got a scout rifle, rapid explosive payload with anti-barrier, a arc bow for overload, Xenophage, the exotic solar machine gun. In terms of mods, we're using a cell type of build because we've got Xenophage on. So we've got Rage of the Warmind, Global Reach, Wrath of Rasputin, Warmind's Protection, all that stuff on. Arc, you need arc damage resistance on, and I would advise putting a concussive on. But at the very minimum, put a arc damage resistance. You need an arc chestplate for that. Because I'm going to show you the Nightfall mods in a minute. Elemental Ordnance is a new seasonal mod. I'll just state what it says and I'll talk about it in the run. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. That's what it states. It's very good with this build. A lot of LMG perks because we're using the machine gun. Sundering Glare, I'll just state what it says and I'll talk about it. Rapid precision hits against distant combatants, weaken them for a short duration. And that's really the setup. Really there. I'll just show you the Nightfall Modifiers again. So hot knives, meaning we need solar. So we've got to have a lot of solar. Overload, anti-barrier, which we've matched. Incoming arc and splash damage is increased. They're the mods. So with the run. With this run we'll try our best to explain positioning, where to take all the champions. This is a platinum run. So I do end up killing all the champions, which platinum rank I think is important for the Nightfall weapon. I don't know everything about it yet, in terms of the, all the conditions, but I'm guessing platinum's linked to it. The 100k though, however, that is a separate thing. As I said before, that's just a pinnacle reward. But if you want to get that, just do it on Adept. So this is the first champion we're taking from here. You just sort of span on past all the ads to then move back and take the first champion safely. We could have took all the ads previously and earned more score, and in hindsight, because this is like my second legend run, right? In hindsight I would have been better earning a bit more score here, so that I would have got the 100k. However, having said that, I could have ran a sniper, because there's anti-barrier sniper in the game, anti-barrier sniper with a bow with Xenophage, which I think would have been a faster run than what I done, because the scout just slows things down, and I didn't get the 100k. I got 95, so I was maybe 2-3 minutes late. So if I'd redone this over, rerun this run with a sniper, it may well be better. But I haven't tested the anti-barrier snipers. I'm imagining they'll 1-2 shot shield, they're bound to. But if you are doing it like me, this is your second anti-barrier. Yek. Really good. Not much of that room, just a couple of Thrall, couple of Fallen. The champion you take last always. With this section, there's a Solar Wizard. You take the Solar Wizard first, because arc damage is on, and you get melted by Wizard. So you need to be careful with the Wizard. This is the next champion here, which can stun him down here. And for those that never watched Nightfall that I done whenever Overload Bow was last, it wasn't the last season, it might have been the season before, but essentially how Overload Bows work is that they can continually overload champions. Scout Rifles can as well when Overload Scouts on, but that was last season. This season it's Overload Bow, so the best bow that you can have, legendary, is an explosive payload bow. Okay? Or a Vorpal. Vorpal's very good as well, to be fair. They wreck champions. So you've got Point of the Stag, which was a ritual weapon, 9 banner. I think you can use it this season. I think it's cap date 1360 or something like that. I think you can use that. But if not, then you might want to just make sure that you're matching Solar Arc in your weapons. That's the main thing. And then obviously Void, because there is Void, it's match game on. That's the hard thing about this Nightfall, is the end requires Void. Kind of need it. So I've got our sort of set up on. There's a lot of Void servitors at the end. So there's another champion at the back. We're just taking things slow, as you can see. Taking the wizards first, like we did. We'll get a stun here, and we've got another bomb to use. We may as well use it to trade things up. And it saves on heavy ammo. As you want plenty of heavy. Like this, because there's a lot of... That's the thing with this whole Nightfall, there's a lot of arc shield. There's a lot of solar shield, which generally isn't the case. But Hot Knife sort of makes it a little bit more difficult. It's one of them instances where it does, because then you relied on your heavy getting the kills. That's why I picked Xenophage. That's why I went Warmind cell build as well. Now you can spawn kill these doors whenever you get a wave, whenever the audio cue changes, when the game music changes, that's when you get ads. Okay? So obviously it's 3 phases, but within each phase there's a mini half phase where an extra captain will spawn. Right now, just there, he can't me. But as soon as that happens, you just want to back up to this area here. Because this area here, you're safe. Even though we're defending Ghost, like it states, we don't even fight over there, we fight back here. It's not that it's hard, it's just because of the arc damage. And the environmental damage, or whatever else it's stated. Just means a lot of things. I think it was environmental. Just taking out these ads. You'll see me that I use the bow more than the scout. Reason for this is because the bow is overloading enemies, so it's reducing the damage I take off them. Always try and be on top of the spawn. That's why I'm fighting this area, so I can quickly do a nade behind me. And then when I know when it's Solar Shank phase, because I've learned the first run, this is how it goes. Whenever the new Nightfall comes out, we do a run to learn all the phases, to learn exactly what's going on, so that I'm not doing a run that's a cowboy run where it's just like, oh, I nearly died here, but you know, all this stuff. No, this is a run that I know exactly what each phase is. That's why I don't do the Nightfall run in one go. We do the test run, then we do a video run of it. Because people deserve to see the best version. Generally. I mean, this isn't the absolute best version because I didn't get 100k. But it's a decent run on the setup I've got. So that's why I'll do a test, especially if it's a Nightfall. I'm not, you know, even though we played it in day 1, I get it. But the ad spawns are completely different. Yeah, completely different with that. But every time you see me back up, you want to back up. Every time, like I said, the music changes, you want to back up to this area and then take the ads with the bow. The bow's your main focal point. If you get a cell like that, use the Xenophage. You can 2-shot a cell with a bow, which is very good. Well, in my bow, the explosive payload, I'm not sure about standard. But if the cell's got a lot of time left, then you can choose the bow if you want. But if you're in need of destroying that cell, then you may as well use Xenophage. This is where the machine gun finder comes in really handy. Now you see on the floor, that looked like heavy from a distance, but that was the elemental mod, the seasonal mod that I mentioned at the start of the video. So this synergizes with this build because you are getting void kills. You're matching your subclass. So it's like kind of like, it's giving you a little bit of ability energy back every time you're picking that bit off. Bear in mind, it's just, like I say, the second time I'm playing with this seasonal mod. I don't know, does it give you rift energy, etc. I would believe it would, just a little bit. Also, you can combine that mod with a Charge of Light mod, which is up for sale at the helm, etc. So there is a new sort of, we have had the Warmind cell, now we're getting this elemental well thing. That's the new builds that you're going to see now. And we've only just seen 2 mods. There'll be another 2 mods next week, more than likely, and then another 2 mods. So that's going to be the new thing. But this is me just using it one mod on its own. I imagine there'll be other mods that can combo this mod, you know, just like the Warmind cell. Like the Vandals, as you can see, probably the most dangerous times, especially snipers and boomerites. But just because of, that's why I've got the arc damage resistance on. Helps out a lot. There's an overload champion in middle. We'll take the overload champ last, because if you try to take the overload champ while getting fired at, you die. Obviously we're not gonna. If you need to save an ammo, you can kill a champion, as I say, with a bow only. Just continually overloading that champion. You can do it with a non-explosive payload bow and it will work, but it's just quicker to do it with an explosive one. It does more damage, gives that an additional stun. And there'll be exotic bows that are really good as well. I imagine the new one's good, but you would use that, then you would need to use arc heavy. And you would have to be, well, maybe an arc machine gun and the solar bow. That could be a good combo on this one. That could be a good loadout. Also, and I believe it makes Warmind cells the new bow, so that would be a good setup. So that's the first part done with that. On to the next bit. In this next room there'll be one overload champion to take with a couple of vandals surrounding the champion as usual. So not too bad this bit. Just peek shoot. All the smaller adds first, of course, and then the overload. You're best off stunning the overload from back here as well rather than up top, because the overload, the closer you get to the overload, the more likely he is to teleport on top of you, which you're going to see that right now. I'm one shot and then the champion spawns right there. But recuperation was on. Died at orb on the floss, got the health. You're best off with these overloads. Obviously the higher the difficulty, the worse they are, right? But the further you are away from them, the more likely they are to teleport unpredictably. When you're further away from them, they'll just teleport left, right, whereas when you're right next to them, they can go behind you, left, can go anywhere. So that's a big thing with them. If you're having problems with the overload, when you're trying to take them solo with a bow, the best thing is from a distance. This is the tank section. We've a bunch of brigs, so they changed it since Destiny 1. Destiny 1 there was only a big tank at the back. Obviously there wasn't champion, etc. There was just the tank, but the tank was had a lot of HP. But there's a lot of differences. The ad spawns are linked to the tank's health. So the key thing, and also champions I believe as well. I haven't seen that from the first run that I'd done. I noticed if you melt the tank down, you get multiple champions spawn in, multiple ads, multiple snipers, and an anti-barrier shield in all of them. Because there's another anti-barrier near the tank area. So if you're gonna melt the tank before melting champions, it's not the best idea when you're on your own. So the strat, having known that information, that you don't melt the tank down, you leave the tank up, you take out everything, you prioritize all the ads. Because doing this, taking it like this, is easier. And also the tank won't spawn in. Once you get to a certain section, you'll see the exact part where if you step too far, the tank spawns. We're just trying to take some snipers. Once you peek over this sort of hill zone here, then you'll get the audio change, ship spawning in, giving us the tank, and then the brigs You have the tank spawn and then 2 brigs left and right. You'll have an anti-barrier champion and an overload champion closer to you. So there's multiple ways of doing this. The brigs are quite tanky. So what I suggest is that you want to sort of take out the brigs, but try and find an angle so the tank can't hit you, because it's a one shot. If he hits you with all that arc stuff, it's a one shot. If he hits you with the big solar attack, it's a one shot. No matter what your light is. I've already discussed this in the past. You can't over level Nightfalls. You can get it slightly tankier, like very slightly minute. We're talking percentage. We're talking less than percentages at times. So it doesn't matter if you're 1350. Obviously, no one is in the world right now. No one's that high. But say if you're watching this later on in the season, and you say, "Oh, I can take a one." You can't. You will still get one shot from the tank, no matter whether you're 1,000,000 power or whether you're 1300. That's how they've designed Destiny's power level. That's how it works. Works so that everything's not a pushover, so to speak. They don't want you to sort of over level the enemy. And a good example of that would be when Whisper of the Worm was bugged and everything was a one shot. You could one shot bosses with bows. Now, it was fun for a week, but imagine if the whole game was like that. Like, oh, I can go into this Nightfall and do this. It would be fun for a little bit, but that obviously that would be too steep. So they'd have to work out some benefit to over level, because we've got the artifact and we can over level infinitely. They need to work something out to give us slight edge. If someone who really does want to over level 1330, say they want to get to 1350 say, by the end of the season, then give that player some sort of advantage in PvE, so that it's sort of worthwhile doing it. Because right now there's no point. The level system's still the same, so it's the same as what it was Beyond Light, and it's the same before that. When you get to the master difficulty level, which this season's 1330, last season was 1260, there is no benefit to going higher than that. You are done. You are done for the season. That is it. There's no gain. There's none. But you still see people farming XP, and I would suggest if you're somebody that does it, stop doing it, because the only thing you're doing is you're telling Bungie is that it's a good thing, this. So they're just going to keep doing it. They're not going to change the level system. And for those that don't like it, those are suffering, because the people are still farming XP. And they've removed bounties, etc., the weekly. But XP is still a problem, because now, okay, well, we're still just going to do repeatable bounties. The issue's still the same. If you actually go on Destiny Tracker now and look at the world's highest power level Guardian, you'll see, I don't know what it was, yesterday it was like 13, 15, 20 or something like that. Whoever's doing that, why are they doing it? They're doing it to compete against each other, to say, look at me and my power. But it doesn't matter, because they're just literally idiots. And they're ruining the game, and that's truthful. They're ruining the game for everyone else. And Bungie needs to look at the infinite power thing. Really. They should just give us a power cap and say, this is your maximum power cap. When you reach the maximum power cap, you are at your height of powers. And that's it. Because they'll never win. Because if they keep the infinite power cap in, people like that, but okay, I like that, but then give me some benefit other than a number on a screen going up. Right? But they're not going to do that. So there's no point, so we're just in this vicious circle. And it's annoying for me as a player, I'll be honest, and I make content and stuff, just annoying. Just gripes me. That's the biggest gripe at the minute. But this season so far has been working out alright. So once the ads are sort of clear, then you want to start pushing up to where the tank is. There's good locations down the map. This is a good spot right here, because the tank can't hit me. I can hit a lot of the ads, the tank can't hit. When you're confident to start pushing up, especially you need all champions down as well. But when you're confident, you can start doing some nades. Obviously we've got the Contraverse whole build. I'm not doing anything special. All I'm doing is charging my nade on top tree Nova. I've got 100% discipline. And if I hit a big beefy target, it doesn't matter if it's a tank, a brig, or say it's a match game shield even, the longer the grenade ticks, the more tick energy we get back. So it's like an infinite grenade build, and it's been out for ages now. I'm surprised Bungie has never touched it, because it's kind of silly. But it's in the game, so we use it, and it's quite fun at times. I don't play it all the time, but started playing it a bit more recently, and it's very good for this Nightfall. If there was no void shields, I wouldn't have went this build. I would have went something else, maybe Dawnblade or Well, one of those two. So as I said before, the enemies are linked to the tank. So the more damage you do the tank, the more ad spawns and champs you're going to get. Now, it was critical there for us to take that champion out because we can't just sit there and keep bowling that champ, as the tank's going to hit us with his attack. And the thing is, with the sustained fire with the bow, you need to be constantly peeking in and out, so the tank will catch us. So on that specific time, it was good just to do a super, get a stun, super the champ, kill a couple of ads. You don't really need to use a super on the ads or the tank. The grenade's going to do a majority of your damage, and doing it like this means you're taking things in stages. There's not too much hitting you at once. As you can see, I just keep getting the name back. Now, I'm getting yellow. I'm just thinking now. I have that mod, that artifact mod on, but I haven't really looked to see what sort of damage bonus it is. It does look like my damage is going up after rapid hit. It's hard to tell at the minute, and there's no sort of proc to tell you that it's proc either. So it's a weird mod that I'm not 100% exactly done. But what it states is rapid precision hits weakens the enemy, so that sounds like a debuff right there, which sounds super strong. That's like having like a tractor cannon on a scout. Provided it is doing what it says. I tried doing it right here, so we're getting higher numbers. It's hard to tell with explosive. I suppose it is. It's going from 1003 to 1424, so I guess it is work. It looks like it's doing something up there. Well, now we're getting the tank weaker. There's no additional champs, I don't believe. Or there might be an overload. But we've backed off now to this location because, as I said, there's more ads in. When that happens, because we've got long range weapons on anyways, you're best off coming back. Technically, you could just scout this tank down. I could have just tanked him, took him from this area back here. As long as you avoid his fire. That's obviously a good strat as well, just taking the tank down. Once the tank down, you can just deal with all the ads. I believe a ship's spawning in with more ads. Tank's literally one shot at this point, so we're just playing safe. But the two front legs are broken, so that's why it's turning longer. There's also slowly shanks spawning, so we need to save. That's why we're saving a bit more Xenophage than usually I would. Just because I haven't really got an osmosis weapon. I haven't got an osmosis scout anymore. Which if I did, that would be ideal, because I could go Dawnblade, Osmosis Scout, get the solo going. And then I wouldn't have to rely so heavily on Xenophage. I'm going to do, you know, the shield breaks. There is a scout, there is an Osmosis Scout you can get Iron Banner. I wasn't lucky enough to get it last season. With the tank down, I just to focus all the ads. There's an overload at the very back of the map, which will take that last, of course. All the ads out first. Shanks are in groups like that. Take that opportunity because if you do one Xenophage shot, it'll take them all out. And it just saves on ammo. It just means you've got more ammo. You definitely want full ammo going into the boss fight because there's a ton of solar shields and stuff. You can get around it, which you see in the run itself. At the end, you don't have the solar Xenophage. Use a super to take out that champ, which I earlier shouldn't have done. I would advise just throwing him down, but I wasn't sure, you know, sort of for time, how long the boss fight would sort of take on a claim run. 110k, we're losing score now, but we can still gain it. It halves after a certain amount of time. As I say, I'm not focusing on the score so much. I don't expect anyone to be getting it. It's more get the platinum run and have a go at, you know, trying to get the Nightfall weapons. That's mainly what this video is for. And that way you don't have to, you know, if you don't want to play in a team, you don't have to, you can do it on your own. And, you know, a Hunter's going to be able to do it, a Titan's going to be able to do it, for sure. I'm just doing it on the Warlock, because my Warlock's the highest power. Once all adds are down, the boss will then become damageable. So, I wanted to take the boss fight ad phase by ad phase. Around about 5 to 10% to get your first ad phase. There's 2 arc captains, melee captains, and a bunch of fallen dregs. We can take them from this location. This is your safe zone, really. So I use this tunnel I'm in right now, and the room behind me. That's the safest part on the map, because on the stairwell, the only ads that really push you there are the arc melee knights or captains. Sometimes they'll push in or explode it, but if it's just one ad pushing you, it's okay. If it's 5, 6, big problem then. So you need to know where it's safe. It's not entirely safe, but it's safer than other parts. Obviously, for those who have never played this, there's 2 levels. There's a level below us. Thing is, ads will go down there as well, push you. So you can't win really. I imagine there'll be a chase spot somewhere. But obviously we're not using that, we're just playing it as normal. So on the next phase we'll just do a grenade, we'll get it back. Contraverse, do a bit of damage with our scout. We're saving Xenophage ammo, we're going to need plenty of it. Just because of how many the amount of solar shanks in this is low. Once you've done 20%-ish damage, get your next phase. Solar shanks now. If you can get the solar shanks in a group, like I said before, saves on the ammo, and if you get any cells, because we've got Rage of Rasputin, or Rage of the Warmind, add solar damage to your cell, so you can shoot a cell and it kill a lot of enemies surrounding. Thus saving even more ammo for your Xenophage, and it's taking out a lot of ads for you. So ads weren't really pushing me here, so I don't know Healing Rift behind fake Healing Rift, I don't know even what happened there. 3 Healing Rift up. Ads sort of behind me. Pushing up. A lot of the ads were just sort of sitting back. There's Xeno there. Yeah. First else, shoot that. And then obviously you can get if you get another cell. There's another cell over the far side. I can't remember if I actually get it or not. Too dangerous to get. Not much is hitting us. The boss isn't very dangerous. He's doing void. The boss is immune right now though, which he gets immune twice. So when he gets to like a third or just around that figure, he'll spawn in the servitors. Now this is the reason why we're on Nova really, just so we can clear out servers, because this is match game on. We can't really be using Xenophage for all of them. Xenophage, you can break an unmatched shield in 4 shots. That's a lot of shots to waste on one shield. It's a good opportunity to do a Nova right there. You do the Nova right there, it clears out all the mini servitors, and then we're on the next phase. For another phase, this phase is particularly dregs, orange bars, stuff like that, and they all do arc. We've got to back up for that. It's grouped up, by all means do a nade. Next phase is shanks. Well here, you can tell a lot of the threads there. Now on this phase, which is what he used to do on the old one, the boss will start to teleport in the corners, or he'll sort of track you a little bit. You just need to be on top of that. Make sure it's not very threatening. Just make sure if you just teleport in a corner or on top of you, it'll show you in the radar anyways. You look at the follow the marker. You can't see where the boss is, and the marker's on top of you, behind you. Move out of the way. The boss is your least thing that you need to worry about. All the odds, just taking the boss fight slower. Now we've got our captains again. This time they're not melee though. They can push up like that, so just be careful of. Another good mod that I could have had on, but didn't by Team Medic. Is something I'm waiting on the gun to sell, so I don't have it to put on. But if you do, certainly fit it into the build. Maybe take off Warmind's protection and put that on instead. That probably would be a bit better than Warmind's protection. That's why I got Warmind on, to substitute that. So as I said before, there's going to be another phase of servitors. So you want to save a super for both instances. I mean, you could use Contraverse and it would work. Probably hit the boss and then the nade should hit the surrounding servitors. At the very least. That would work. Servitors spawn in. We just have our Nova now. Ads are spawning in though, so I just thought I'll use it before they come up. Even though the boss is immune, this is a good thing as well. Still got grenade energy back, even though hit an immune enemy. Look at that captain that pushed us. They're the biggest thing, them captains. Any cells you get when there's a lot of ads coming in, definitely try to optimize it, like here. Never risk your life for a cell unless you got the fire team medic on. You get it, then definitely saves you time. We're on 103k, so as you see, the boss is a third. If we were just a little bit quicker, had better RNG for ammo, because I barely got any bricks. Would have been able to just clutch the 100k, but we didn't. As I said, I already got the 100k on the adept. It's very easy just to get it on adept, just sort of speedrun adept. You'll get 15k in 15-minute run. As you saw there, I didn't have any heavy on the floor, but all the shanks were grouped up. So we used a Contraverse hold nade. That's continually doing that tick damage. Just helps out, and you can still take them. So at the very least, we haven't got something solo, we can use a nade, providing they're all grouped up like that. Now on the very last phase of the fight. A couple of invisible marauders, which I forgot to mention that they can push. But again, just stun them with the bow. The overload's going to work out wonders for that. Just stops them in the tracks. The scout would work as well a little bit, because anti-bio round does work on, they change anti-bio rounds, and I haven't really seen much change the anti-bio rounds on a scout, but last season it was anti-bio rounds on SMGs and it used to stagger the enemy. So I would imagine, it's hard to tell with my scout because it's got explosive payload and anyways, so it kind of staggers enemies anyway. But as I said, with the bow though, the overload means if you are taking damage off an enemy, at least it's reduced. And because with that arc and splash damage, as you can see there, literally not much hit me and I nearly died, so that's the only reason why we're playing, you know, 5 passive. This setup here would have been good for the master. Obviously I'm not quite high enough for it. Obviously, you know, you could do it, it would just be a longer run, but once you get to sort of 13-20, 13-15, start looking at doing masters. I'm currently 13-11 max, so sort of off doing, you know, masters. I don't really want to do a master run where it's like 50 minutes long or something, because it will be. You know, the lower you are on the level, the longer it's going to take, obviously. But around 13-20, you could probably get a master done. Probably similar time to this, maybe 5 minutes, something like that. And you get a lot more points, and it'd be more reliable for getting the one. Yeah. That's the thing with legends. They're always like this, where that's why legends aren't really worth doing, especially when you go over, you know, and you start over leveling them. But we used a Nova at the end to finish the boss off. That's what we're kind of waiting on. That was the run anyways. As you can see, it'll pop up saying platinum, so I did get it. It was a good Nightfall. Good that they brought it back. That was the run. Thank you.